I'm sitting down with Brian Leizerowicz, the VP of Sales for Western Window Systems, here in what can only be described as just an incredible setting. He's taking it all in.
It's tough to look away, it really is.
What has Western Window Systems done to enhance the architecture, the feel, and design of this place?
Well, when you think about the location, the setting, what you're exposed to here, you know, this magnificent vista, you don't want to interrupt it with a lot of wall space, right? So you do want to enable that indoor-outdoor feel. When you're inside, you know, ideally you want to feel like you're still part of your surroundings. And I think we've really been able to nail it here.
So what went into the design process for this to make sure your design and your windows reflected that and enhanced this property? What goes into because people would just think, oh, you just take some windows and you fit them in, but what really goes into the design of this?
You know, there are some projects that certainly that is a possibility. You can just take some windows and put them into it, but this is a completely different type of architecture where, you know, very early involvement with the architect, the builder, you know, the design team and the construction team to, you know, make sure that we're capturing what they're trying to put on a piece of paper and helping them bring it to life. You know, very large expanses of glass, a lot of daylight, natural light that just brightens up the home. But again, just not interrupting that view. You know, the view that you can get from virtually every room in the house. Why would you want to interrupt that, right? So we try to do very tall floor to ceiling type windows, a lot of operable window walls, moving glass walls that really just let the inside out and let the outside in.
Working with another company like New American Homes, who obviously are at the forefront of trying to, you know, be innovative and collaborative with yourselves, how does that enable you to flex your muscles, and what does that bring from your expertise to that package?
Yeah, so we are experts at what we do in terms of building the systems, engineering, designing, and actually constructing the glazing systems. So the earlier we get involved in the project, the more we can be a part of what are the capabilities of the product. How can we, you know, stretch it to a responsible limit to make sure that it works within the building and kind of provides the form and the function that's that the design team's trying to achieve, but not go overboard and create something that, you know, creates any kind of failures or you know, lack of thermal performance or structural performance, safety, things like that.
One of the things you mentioned, which was that, you know, allowing the aesthetic of the area to breathe, and the windows certainly allow that with reflection and light coming through.
Yeah.
Another key part of the aspect for a property like this is that indoor-outdoor living.
Yeah.
And that crossover, almost feeling like you're inside when you're outside and outside when you're inside. How have you been able to design and implement that?
Well, there are a lot of easy ways to put glass into a building. To create a view, but to also create that passage and that blending of inside to outside, having a dynamic window wall system, meaning it can move in certain ways. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the openings on this project, the majority of the openings, every multi-slide door pockets into a wall. So when they're open, they're gone. There is no wall. We really remove the boundary from inside to outside. But then at the push of a button, they're all automated and they come back together closed. And then you sealed out the elements when you don't want them in your home.
It's one thing if this home or any home looks as spectacular as this, but people are obviously conscious about sustainability. Mm-hmm. People are worried about, you know, energy saving measures, and you guys incorporate that within your design too.
Yeah. So if you're, you know, geeking out about the actual technology that goes into the glazing systems that we use today, the evolution of those systems over the past, you know, call it 10 years has been just monumental. There are metallic glass coatings, low E coatings out there, and gas fill technology for the insulated glass units that we provide. You can see they're really oversized, right? There's nothing small about this home or the openings in it at all. But we're able to use glass technology that really keeps the heat out. So we reduce solar heat gain on the building, which in turn reduces the mechanical load on the inside. So this building really shouldn't use that much energy in order to keep itself cool and warm in the summertime. So low E coatings will trap the heat in the cold weather. It'll trap the heat out in the warm weather or sun generated heat. Generally by reflecting the long wave energy back to whichever direction it came from. So just the ability to be able to do that just gives us so much more of palette to work with when we want to make these big expanses of glass.
Anyone watching or any other construction firms out there or builders who would like to get in touch with you and collaborate with you, what's the best place for them to visit?
Start with our website and get a feel for what we actually can bring to the table. I think we've done a good job of, compiling a bunch of a solid, catalog of projects that kind of span geography, span topography, span, architectural design styles. Yes, we do a lot of contemporary, modern architecture, glass box style houses, but we also do other types as well.
And the website?
www.westernwindowsystems.com.